What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ethan's Exotic Escapades. We are back at Aquatic Planet with Todd. We're going to be going through and feeding some of these animals. It's going to be really cool. And before we get started, I think y'all know what I'm about to say. Make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe. Before we get started with the feeding, I'm actually going to show you some of the new things that he just got in. Here's a sulcata tortoise. It's a little baby. These actually get really big, so you definitely need a big enclosure for these guys. But I want to show this one first.
Third largest tortoise in the world, and they are from northern Africa, like the Senegal region, like right around where it gets kind of like bushland in Senegal, southern Senegal, northern Ivory Coast, areas like that. And those guys get huge. When they get big, their legs, their scales turn into like these, like they look like big shark's teeth, but white or like a cream color. And then their shells get like these big like teeth. Really, really interesting tortoises.
And he's actually got two of these guys, but I'm just getting one of these out to show y'all. Next, he's got a bearded dragon in. This is a sub-adult. This is a female, actually. They can get a lot bigger than this, but I just want to show this girl off.
And she likes to eat romaine lettuce. Oh, she likes romaine lettuce. And if you guys get these guys, you want to feed them, make sure they're eating greens, because it's going to be cheaper. Because when they get big, they can be a little bit more expensive if you're feeding them all dubia roaches and super worms and crickets and stuff like that. Don't you look at me like that.
These are very personable lizards. They love to be held. They love human contact. You just have to make sure, if you get one of these, you've got to constantly take them out and spend time with it so that it remains tame. She's looking at me. All right, next he's got this California king snake right here. I want to show this guy off. Super friendly. All right, next up, he's got these red ear sliders in. This one's actually an albino one right here. Super pretty. Now I'm going to show y'all one of the regular ones. Here's one of the regular ones right here. Red ear slider. And now we're going to go ahead and get started with the feeding. We're going to feed all of the fish.
Okay, so I'm going to go around. I'm going to feed all my cichlids first. A lot of people don't know that angelfish are cichlids. They're a little bit slow, so you want to be careful who you team them up with in the tank, because they're not very agile and they can get chewed up by other cichlids, so you got to be careful. They can be aggressive. They're normally just aggressive when they are about to lay eggs, when they paired up together, once a male and female is paired up together. These are cichlid pellets. I have floating and sinking mixed up. Some of them like to eat at the bottom, and plus I have other fish in there near the bottom, and that giant Colombian hyphen spotted playcoat will go vacuuming as soon as I turn the lights out. He'll activate, because he's in the catfish family, and so he's nocturnal. He likes to eat and move around at nighttime. Over here I have some small angels. I've already fed them, but I'll feed them with something else because their mouths are a lot smaller than these pellets. I've got some Salvini up here. They're in the back. They're really beautiful. I could put a couple in here, but I just got them today, so they might be a little shy. They may not come out right away to eat. Maybe it will. Oh, he kind of sees it. He might come over. A lot of cichlids aren't very pretty when they're young. They get pretty when they're bigger. In here I have a tiger botia, which is a really good botia to go in with cichlids. They'll get about 7 or 8 inches long. He's more aggressive. And then I have black acaras. Black acaras get bigger than electric blue or blue acaras. But I really like them. They have their scales are outlined with a black line. And right below those guys we have electric blue acaras. I have a little runt in there, so I've got to feed him separately. And I also have red spotted severums in there. There's 2 red spotted severums. Frogs, we'll do the frogs as I feed them these pellets as well. Sometimes it takes them a minute or 2 to get going, but once they discover that the pellets are there, you'll see them use their hands and kind of feed their face. So they might have to smell them. There, one of them's going, the one in the wood. He smelled them, and they'll start moving their hands real fast. And they're kind of like Cookie Monster, shoving the food into their mouths. But it usually takes about 30 seconds or a minute, and then they get activated. There, this one's starting to move now. He's doing it. And the big one's doing it too, the big gray one. Those guys get bigger than a man's hand. So let's see, here I've got a couple of, these are snow white parrots convicts. So they're kind of like balloon belly. They'll go find the food in a minute. They'll smell it and then go get it. I have a big Jurupari in here. He's this guy right here. It's a real sweetheart fish. These guys are so sweet, they won't even stand up for themselves if they're being bullied. They can be way bigger than another fish. Those guys are sand sifters. They like to eat off the bottom. That's why their mouth is so low on their head. A really unusual looking fish. I remember when I was a teenager, I never wanted those because they looked too weird. But now I love them. They're one of my favorites. I have firemouth cichlids. They don't have too much color right now, but they're hiding back there. I don't know if they'll come out and eat right away until they can smell it. They don't have too much color just because they're young. The color will come out once they hit about 3 inches long. These are female peacock cichlids. The females don't have near as much color. But I don't have them mixed with the males because there'll usually be some aggression issues in the tank. Cichlid, he's actually only about 1/4 of his size. This is a great tank boss cichlid. They look a lot like Oscars, but they are a lot more gentle, and usually that's a great tank boss. They don't chase other fish and chew their fins up. They just kind of will mediate, and they'll break up fights if there's some fights going on in the tank. I've got a red blood parrot. He's hiding under the filter really low. But he might come out if he sees the sinking pellets come down, but he's kind of shy right now. But that's a fish that takes a while to adapt. This is another peacock cichlid. That's a red peacock cichlid. Really beautiful. Those guys will get about 7 to 9 inches. Very aggressive. They have alkaline water requirements, so you can't just put them in any other type of water. Let's see, these are not cichlids, so we'll go over to here. Here's another cichlid. Remember, angelfish are cichlids. I'll feed them a little bit. And then I have congos in the back, which are really beautiful. Not a cichlid that's a tetra, but it's a good sized tetra. The males get the really long flowy fins that are really beautiful. That's a fish that a lot of people don't know about. It's a great one to add to your tank. Very peaceful, not going to start fights with anybody. Then I normally will feed let's see, where are they? Can't see them because I just got plants in today. Oh, there's one. So this is a true betta, a wild betta. You can put males together and they won't fight with each other. Maybe he'll see that and come over and grub it down. I got a male and a female. That's the male there. The males have a little bit of a bluish kind of tinge on the front of their face. That's a very rare fish. There's a breeder up in Anderson, South Carolina for those. And we have an Oscar and Managuense cichlids, or they're also called jaguar cichlids. These guys are very aggressive. They like to pick fights. They remind me a lot of a largemouth bass. When I was in high school, I loved bass fishing, and so that was one of the first cichlids that I ever got because it looked like a bass. I remember going home on my bicycle from the pet store carrying one of those in there. And then my favorite fish of all are severums. We have green and gold severums in here. Very friendly fish. These guys will get about 9 to 12 inches long. They get really big. They're kind of like a bluegill. They'll get about as big as a man's hand. Then we have regular blue acaras, keyhole cichlids in here, and rainbow cichlids. Rainbow cichlids, and again, they really don't have all their colors out just yet because they are, and I have to feed these guys because some of them have small mouths, so I have to feed them some smaller pellets later on. Up here I have a fairly rare type of convict cichlid. These are calico. The females have an orange belly and they're smaller, and they have more turquoise in their dorsal and anal fins. These guys will grub down. They can be very aggressive. There's a regular convict. He's not really showing his stripes real well because he's not the tank boss. A lot of times cichlids will only show their true colors once they've got, they are a tank boss. And this tank needs to be vacuumed. I just got a whole bunch of these guys in today and they've stirred the bottom up. These are Geophagus redhead tapajos. There's also 2 balzani, they're right there, super sweet Geophagus species. And then there's 2 sveni right there, actually 3 sveni. And those are very much sought after. They are gorgeous fish. They get about 12 inches long. Great fish. Then we'll go over here. I've got a very rare waru cichlid in this tank. These guys are bred for food in Venezuela and Colombia and Peru. So they're in like big fish farms. They are plant eaters big time as well. So if you have live plants, they are gonna tear them up. And there's also a chocolate cichlid in there with him, but that's a waru, U-A-R-U cichlid. And I have my big O featherfin Synodontis euteris catfish in there. Really sweet fish. Sometimes he'll get out and about and he'll patrol around. Let me see if I can get him to move. He'll patrol around. He looks a lot like a shark when he patrols the tank. He might come out if he smells that or sees that food. It might take him a minute before he does it. Oh, I think he smells it now. Yep, there he goes. He's going to be on the prowl. And then there's a tiger botia, full-grown tiger botia underneath there. That is a green tiger botia, whereas the ones over there were Cambodian redtail. Those guys come from Southeast Asia. They have big bones on their snouts, and they eat snails. They slice snails up with the bones that are on their snouts. And then my favorite of all are up here. These are my severums. I have a big pineapple gold severum, a super red spotted severum, a very rare black severum in here, and then this is a full-grown redhead tapajos geophagus. Give them a bit of food. There's also a hybrid. This is a blue acara mixed with a green terror. I call it an electric blue terror. It was actually an electric blue acara mixed with a green terror to make that. Like after a month after I owned the store. So I've had that guy about 2.5 years. Again, those are akin to like a bluegill. And in here we have full-grown black acaras. There's a full-grown rainbow cichlid right there. And then a whole bunch of severums. I have some rare severums in here as well. I'll try to bring them up to the front. 2 of them are turquoise severums. That's a big full-grown turquoise severum. That's a regular red spotted severum. He's good size. There's a male, this is an Atabapo, that one with the vertical bands. He's kind of aggressive. He's also a mouth brooder. He has beautiful red eyes. So he holds his babies, the clutch, in its mouth. Let's see if we can get some more to swim around. The black acaras, full-grown black acaras are right back there. That's how big they get. That's about, what, maybe 5.5, 6 inches long. I think I got a male and a female, but they probably won't breed in here because there's too much competition going on in the tank. And this is another pineapple gold severum. Yep, that's a male green severum right there. Not quite full grown, but approaching full grown. And then there's a Tocantins River red spotted severum. It's like a burgundy and he has bars. He's kind of aggressive too. The Atabapo and this guy Tocantins, yep, you got him right there. Those are a little bit more aggressive, so I put him in when he was smaller because I knew he would get kind of put in his place by the others when he was small, and hopefully he'll behave himself as he gets bigger. And now we're going to feed all the community fish, or the kind of sweet little guys with flakes. Oh, I got to feed this guy. I got a big male convict in there. Drop him some food down in there. And I have an Oscar in the hospital tank as well. he had a parasite, and I think I've killed the parasite. I gave him some medication, and because he's looking good now, he's holding his weight, he's eating very well. So you guys probably have seen a video where I mixed food in with, I mixed a dewormer powder in with the food, and I used unflavored gelatin that's kind of stinky that the fish like to eat, and I fed him that for 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten rid of, I have not seen any worms, and also he's eating and he's getting really fat. So like those are all good signs. So I that's a success case in dealing with internal parasites. Now it's time to feed all of the community fish. These guys have smaller mouths, and so I feed them flakes. The flakes though, like one thing about flakes is I really like hikari food the best, but for little guys I feed them flakes, but once they're big enough I prefer them to eat pellets when their mouths can handle it. Flakes have to be baked under about 300 degrees, and just like when we cook vegetables, you lose nutrients due to the extreme heat. So this is not quite as nutritious as the pellets, the hikari pellets are, but still it's good stuff, but not as good. So we're going to feed these smaller angelfish because they have smaller mouths, so they're going to eat some of those. It's kind of cool to watch them eat up top. Their little mouths go deep, 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 deep. I'll give the Salvini just a little bit. Sometimes I'll push it in and I'll push the flakes down so they'll get down, like if they're shy. Like I just got those in today, so they're a little bit shy. And I got this little runt electric fluocara in here. He needs some loving. So I'm gonna put just a little bit and I'll push it kind of down toward him into the tank so he can go get him some. Sometimes you get runts, just like in like a litter of dogs, you might get a little runt in there. And here I've got silver dollars, and I've got rainbow sharks, and I've got bikers, and kind of dwarf cichlids there, Apistogramma agazi. It's a sunset agazi Apistogramma. And then that's the Bishir or biker. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation. Those guys are really small. They eat a different type of pellet that I drop down. Small pellets that can fit in their little mouths. Down at the bottom here, I've got Harlequin rasboras. They have a navy blue triangle in the back of their body. So those are going to be, that's a nice community fish to have. Pretty hardy fish. These are my barbs. These barbs get about 3 inches long. I have neon, I have rosy barbs, and gold barbs. Gold barbs kind of look like an Oreo cookies were mixed in with orange sherbet ice cream. Sweet fish can get along with just about everybody. Then we'll go up here. We're going to feed the Buenos Aires tetras and Pristella maxillaris gold, and I have regular Pristella maxillaris. They're smaller right there. And then there's yo-yo loaches in here. Those are snail eaters. Those guys get about 5 inches long. Buenos Aires are really food aggressive at the top. They won't hurt anybody, but they will be really quick and kind of fun to watch. And when you feed any of your fish, there's a 3-minute rule that you want to follow. You want to put the food in and then look at your watch or set a timer on your phone for 3 minutes. If you have a lot of food left in there after 3 minutes, you've overfed, and you need to reduce that, because what's going to end up happening is if you have a lot of uneaten food in the tank, it's going to generate ammonia in your tank, which is like very toxic to your fish. In here I have tiny little Congo tetras. I have brilliant rasboras and or albino Congo tetras. And I also have one that's called a roseline shark. He's really small right now, but he's going to get big, and he has a beautiful like tangelo orange, kind of pinks, coral kind of orange color. Oh, I have 2 of them in there actually. Yeah. These are my guppies. Guppies have pretty small mouths, so I kind of crush it and make it almost a really kind of small form for them. And then we have, I have one turquoise rainbow cichlid in here. Those come from a small lake in Papua New Guinea. And then a bunch of dwarf neon blue rainbow fish. They're from like the Australia, Indonesia area, as well as clown loaches. And moving right along, we have gold tetras, ember tetras, and pearl danios in here. Pearl danios are pretty aggressive at the top, eating really fast, zipping around. In this tank, I have one of my favorites, blind cave fish. They have no eyes. So if I put my fingers in there for about 30 seconds, they will sense the electricity in the body and they'll come over and start nibbling on your fingers. You always get movement. They're always on the prowl, kind of sensing for food, something to eat in the tank. I also have little tiny Otocinclus. These are algae eaters. They'll suck on the glass. They only get about 1.5 to 2 inches long. And there's neon tetras in there and white clouds. White clouds have the red tail. They look kind of with a gold stripe horizontally. Fun fish down here. We have long fin white skirts and black skirt tetras. These guys are a very hardy, very good fish for beginners. They don't die easily. And the long fins make them a little bit more attractive as well. We got a lot of fish in here. Wait till you see what happens when I put food in there. I have giant danios. They are spaz. They're ADHD eaters. And then I also have green tiger barbs, which are a little bit more on the aggressive side. You don't want to mix these with slow moving fish like angelfish, betta, or maybe even Congo tetras, because they will nip at the fins and eat the fins. I also have regular tiger barbs, the vertically striped ones. And then there's red and blue Colombian tetras in there. This guy here, there's one right there, kind of like the shape of a piranha. And we have platies. These guys are live bears, so they're going to pop out babies for you. It's very easy to tell the difference between a male and a female. Behind the belly, there is the anal fin, and the anal fin on the females is shaped out like a triangle and it'll be spread. The boys curl their fin up and it looks like that. Kind of looks like a peepee. And down here, we have one of my most popular fish. These guys are genetically modified. I also have glass catfish in there. They're kind of hard to see. They stay at the top. Here's one here. They're moving kind of fast in there. That's a fun fish. But these are glowfish, so there's a patent on them, so they cost a little bit more. They're pretty protective over their patent. If they catch you breeding, they will probably take you to court if you have a large-scale breeding thing going on. This is my new community tank that I have on display, just to kind of give people a good example. Tomorrow I just got a bunch of new plants in. I'm going to add some hornwort in here, as well as some java ferns down in the bottom. Let them kind of float around there. And this will be just my kinder, gentler tank example. I've got a bunch of neon tetras, blind cave fish, neon blue dwarf rainbow fish are in there, brilliant rasboras, and white cloud tetras are in there. Plus I have some really cool plecos. That's a regular bristlenose. There's a starfire red and a green phantom, olive green phantom pleco in there. These guys are pretty cool. It's feeding time for them. Sometimes I'll drop it where the filter is and let the filter kind of shoot it down to everybody who's hanging low in the tank. This is happy time for them. It's like Thanksgiving. I give a little bit of love to my Congos and then my smaller angelfish in there. This one here is this is a seal point. He's kind of like white with black dark gray fins. Then we have mollies. Mollies require you to have, I have gold panda mollies. They're half gold, half black in the back, and I have black lyre tail mollies. If you have mollies, and then this is, I think they call that a Liberty molly. If you have mollies, you definitely have got to add aquarium salt. Do not add table salt because you will kill your fish, but you need to add aquarium salt into your tank at a rate of 1 tablespoon for every 5 gallons. So I put 4 tablespoons in this tank. Let's see, down here we have some blue opaline gouramis. They'll come to the top hopefully. That's another tank that's ready to be vacuumed tomorrow. And I got these little guys, the keyholes that we looked at before. They have smaller mouths, so I have to give them some flakes. Either that or I go around with small pellets. I also have some little runts in here, so I go back around and make sure that they have something to eat. Put those small little bits up in there. And then down here I have, one of my favorites are these red serpae tetras. They're the red guys in there. Then there's some red glass barbs, a couple of red glass barbs. But these guys look a lot like piranhas, but they add color to your tank. They're fairly inexpensive and they're real quick. And they will school together as well. It's a good fish. This is my little indoor pool that I have for my koi fish and then my goldfish. These are Sarasa, Comet, and Shabunkin goldfish. These guys can survive the winter even if there's like an inch of ice in your pond. So these guys like to come up to the top. They're begging for food right now. We'll throw some food in there. You can see them come up. Koi fish will get about 2 to 3 feet long. Some of those are butterfly, the ones with the longer fins, especially that gold one. That's a butterfly. It has longer fins. Koi enthusiasts will turn their nose up to those because they're like a hybrid. They're not an original koi. So I like them. Most people just get them because they like them, and I don't care what the others say about those. So we're gonna feed my goldfish a little bit. I got my big boys in here. This is my big boy Aranda. He's got, and you should feel that. It actually feels like gel. It's real gooey feeling what he's got on his head there. They'll come up over here to eat. This is an Aranda right here. But his kind of poofy helmet isn't as big. This is a Colombian hyphen. He likes to go upside down when it's feeding time as well. I've had him for over 3.5 years and he hasn't grown any bigger because he's grown to the size of the tank I have. This is a full-grown albino Corridora. It's a female, so she's about 2.5, 3 inches long. That's full-grown. I have a full-grown clown pleco out at the moment. That's kind of a rare find because he's full-grown. No bigger than 3 inches on those guys. And the last fish for today that we're going to feed are, oh, I didn't show you the dojo loaches. I've already fed them, but they're on the bottom. These guys get about 9 inches long, and you get a lot of action with them. They're fairly inexpensive. They grow real quickly, and they're super food motivated. So down here I have a couple of mixed Aranda. Actually, there's just one in there. One mixed Aranda. I have black moor. They're the kind of bug-eyed goldfish. They've discovered it. And they'll get busy eating. And then I have a couple of Aranda. This is a red cap Aranda. That one was supposed to be a red cap, but he also has another red spot on him. And then these are Ryukin. Ryukin have like pointy little faces and their bodies get really big and really fat. And when they get full grown, they're about 7 inches long and they just kind of waddle in the tank. They're real cute. And then I have two down here. One is a Ryukin and the other is a telescope. It's like a black moor, but he's got white on his belly as well. He'll smell the food in a minute and come over and get it. They have a pretty good sense of smell. And that's about it for everything in the store for right now. Thanks for taking the tour with me.
One more thing that he actually has that I have not mentioned is he has a tarantula that I wanted to show y'all. This guy. He's just chilling out right now. He did jump a second ago off of me, so. And this is a striped-kneed tarantula, so. I want to show you all this. Here he is climbing up my arm right now. But he's just chilling. It's really cool. And it looks like he's also got a new leopard gecko. This guy is so gorgeous, so pretty. Look at him. Let's see if I can show his face. Wow. It's so pretty. Alright, that's going to do it for today. Thanks again for having us. It's always a blast. If you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe. And we'll see you on the next one.